Oh, Queen. Now, thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, no problem at all. What would you say is the way that you would describe yourself?
Hmm. I would say that I am a dedicated hard worker.
Mm-hmm.
I love a good challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm one of the type of people that takes the hard road first,
Okay.
because it makes life so much easier at the end.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why is because if I'm committed to following through on tasks,
Okay.
projects, jobs, anything of that nature, I want to get my hands as dirty as possible,
Mm.
so I understand pers- the full perspective of the job at hand. So I have a solid understanding. Once I have a solid understanding, it makes my work easier and the work of everyone around me easier. So I would say I'm a person that loves a good challenge and is dedicated enough to place myself in any situation to make that job work for everybody involved.
Okay. Now, I'm sure you've heard in the news some of the changes that have been happening here at Marc Jacobs. If after a year
Mm-hmm.
of working within the marketing department, you're comfortable with the experience you've been having, what would you say is a goal or two you may end up having?
Well, it kind of goes back to the first thing I was saying about learning
Mm-hmm.
about my job.
Okay.
And one of the aspects about learning about your job is to learn about your fellow employees,
Okay.
the company, the
Mm-hmm.
division, and the marketing being done, like previous campaigns,
Mm.
current campaigns that are coming up, things of that nature.
Okay.
That's my short term goal. The
Okay.
long term goal is to take from that, master it, grow with it, and do as much as I possibly can to really help push the marketing division to that next level. And that means
Mm.
getting more campaigns, working with more key list accounts with other brand names, things of that nature. So that way the company grows as I grow with the company. And that's really my long term goal as a professional. Personally, it's stability,
Mm-hmm.
growth, um, growth not only as a person, but growth within the larger industry, and to be able to provide a quality of excellence
Okay. Okay.
to really to achieve all those things. That's really my underlying goal.
Okay. Now, the last place you were employed at,
Mm-hmm.
did they have any kind of, employee evaluations, anything like that?
Um, yes and no. I
Okay.
worked
Okay.
for a smaller company where there was
Mm-hmm.
only a couple of people in the office, and I was one of them.
Okay.
And it was pretty much a day-to-day self-assessment,
Okay. Okay.
where I was able to check in with other coworkers, with my
Mm.
boss, other
Mm.
supervisors, and basically, assess my performance on a day-to-day basis.
Okay.
So the evaluation was more of a self-directed,
Okay.
as compared to a larger corporation where you sit down with your supervisor and you go through a list of questions of where you see yourself, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses,
Okay.
where are your obstacles, where you want to you challenge yourself, where are other areas that you want to excel, that you think you can expand upon. Um, that type of evaluation was a day-to-day,
Okay.
and
Okay.
the results were pure positive. If
Okay.
we did a
Okay.
great job, that meant we got more jobs.
Okay.
And that meant the company was, making money. And
Okay.
that meant that everybody had a job.
All right. So I
So,
take it you were able to, look at your strengths and weaknesses, whether it was someone else was pointing them out or you were
mhm,
just looking at them, and turn them into positives for the company as a whole.
yes.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. You start with yourself first and you work outwards from there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I would say one of my other strengths is to be able to take criticism,
Okay. Okay.
and not take that personally, but to generally reflect upon that as a person and say, okay, what are my challenges? What are my
Okay.
weaknesses? What are the stumbling blocks? Where am I tripping up at?
Mm-hmm.
And really evaluate what the problem is, and to come to resolutions where I work it out. The whole thing is that no matter what you do, you're
Mm-hmm.
always going to make mistakes. The fact is, you just accept it and you move on. The trick is that if you make mistakes that cost um, a project or anything of that nature, you own it. Good, bad, or indifferent, you own it because you're the one responsible for it. So I would say that was probably one of the other things that really came through for me working at my previous company was the ability to not only take on certain projects or duties,
Mm.
but to own it. And if there was a problem, always be able to go out or reach out and say, hey, I need help,
Okay.
or there's this issue, I don't know what to do. Hey, could you look at this with me? What am I doing wrong? How
Mm-hmm.
can I correct this? You know, open dialogue, open communication is the one sure way where you can always find a solution to a problem that betters and improves the job performance and helps you and the other people in your company grow where you all face the same challenges.
I'm liking what I'm hearing. I'm liking what I'm hearing. Thank you. Seriously, thank you very much for coming in today.
Thank
It's
you.
been a
Thank
great
you for
interview.
having me.
All right, have a great one.
Thank you. You too.